Our last two games of the season are definitely interesting. We're playing already relegated Sheffield United, and then we're playing Leicester, who can sneak into the top six. Chelsea's already won the league. They're 13 points ahead of Tottenham. We are currently tied for third place on 68 points. West Ham has 67. Brighton has 64. Liverpool has 63. United has 62. Leicester has 60. So it's literally a 9-team race for 5 playoff spots. And it's entirely possible that Man City, if Brighton went out, so as an example, say Liverpool wins out, they win their last 2 games, plus they've got a game in hand, they win their last 3 games, they go up to 70 points, Man City doesn't lose anything, they can definitely fall out of the top 6. It's been an interesting season. It really, really has. So in 36 game plays, our 68 goals are 5th best, our 52 goals allowed are 10th best, 51 yellow cards are 7th best. We actually cut that down this year. Xerxes leads us with 29 goals. Dan Axel Zagadou with a 7.4 rating. Pellegrini 11 assists. Joachim Anderson and a 97% pass completion rating. Dan Axel Zagadou, Pietro Pellegrini, Joshua Xerxes. Dan Axel Zagadou, Pietro Pellegrini, and Joshua Xerxes each have 5 Players of the Match awards. And the yellow card machine that is Joachim Anderson, he has 12 thus far. Schedule-wise, after getting blown out by PSG and Man United, we went back to our winning ways. We beat Wolves 4-3, goals by Xerxes, Esposito, Anderson, and Pellegrini. We absolutely thumped Brighton. Xerxes a goal, Esposito a goal, Pellegrini a goal, and then Marcao had an own goal for Brighton. We beat Bournemouth 2-0, Pellegrini a brace of goals, one of which was a penalty kick. Chelsea, the top team in the league, they absolutely bossed us 3-1. Lukaku had a first-minute goal. Leao had a brace of goals. We didn't perform well. We performed average, and against a team like Chelsea, average just isn't good enough. The fact that they only scored 3 speaks to the fact that they probably could have scored more but didn't want to. And then against Southampton, we beat them 2-0 thanks to a brace of goals by Esposito. Injury-wise, Ash Hornsby still has a broken collarbone. He is a youth player. Ferguson is still out for another week or so. I haven't made any transfer moves. I've been looking at end of contract players. Nothing's really caught my eye. Thus far, our budget is currently standing at £143 million, and we have £500,000 of payroll to work on. I'm not one of those guys that goes out and spends $100 million on a player unless he's really, really good. And there's just not a player out there at the moment who is worth that I think A, would come to the team, B, not treat it like a stepping stone, and C, would be willing to pay here. I don't want to blow my wage scale out of the water either. I mean, for the moment, our highest wage earner, there's 2 of them, Riedewald and Xerxes, are each both earning $110,000. I'm not quite sure Riedewald deserves $110,000, but that could be just me. But, I mean, like, we've got the 16th lowest payroll in the league again this year. We're doing really well. So, you know, I told Pellegrini I would give him a new contract. He's probably going to want a raise. He's earning 44 now. He'll probably want at least double that. You know what? Let's find out. I told him end of the season, but we can find out right now. He wants 78. Bonuses, bonuses, bonuses. 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. Goal bonus, goal bonus, goal bonus. Salary raise. I'm okay with that. So against Sheffield, we have a Turbine goal. Laird, Zagadou, Sutalo, and Kasunu as the defensive back 4. Stockbridge and Gallagher as the midfielders. Those 2 need to switch. Esposito and Fatou as the attack midfielders. Xerxes and Pellegrini up top as the strikers, although Clark is back healthy. So we are going to start him. You know, after the whole Michael Eliason goal for a game debacle in Season 1, I've gotten a lot better about double-checking to make sure the guys that I'm actually putting on the field are actually the guys on the field that are supposed to be in that particular position. I think if we win this game, and depending on what the other teams around us do, we clinch. We clinch a spot in the top 4. Esposito. Back to Zagadou. Zagadou to Sutalo. Sutalo over to Fatou. Back to Kasunu. Sutalo. Over to Stockbridge. Stockbridge up for Xerxes. He chests the ball down and he scores. A very nice goal. His 30th of the season. A very good assist by Stockbridge. Stockbridge is now 3.5-star current ability. He's really come on this season. Nice job. Very nice assist by Stockbridge. Hudson-Odoi to Kostic. Back to Hudson-Odoi to Berg. to Ivanusek. Vieira, out to Menino. Back to Vieira. He feeds Ivanusek. Ivanusek to Brewster, who scores. They get one back almost immediately. I am still up in the air about Iturbe. I think he can be a good keeper. He can develop into a good keeper. I just don't know that I have the time for him to develop into a good keeper. We're in the latter half of the save. This is a 7-year save. This is the end of Season 4, which means Season 5 and Season 6 and Season 7, we need to be challenging for first place in the league and getting far in the Champions League, getting as far in the Champions League as we can. And is Iturbe going to develop that well going forward? I don't know. Part of me would like to say yes. Part of me would like to say if there's a good young keeper out there for the right price, say another version of Bayender rather, I'd go with him. It just depends on what the next couple of off seasons look like. And keeper is one of the few positions I will pay 50, 60, 70 million pounds for. But I like getting younger players in, developing them. I mean, Iturbe, oh, is that not a foul? And he's off. Well, that helps us. Laird on the throw-in to Esposito. Centers it to Stockbridge. Stockbridge back to Sutalo. Sutalo to Zagadou. Over to Laird. Laird driving forward. Holds it up. Crosses it in. And Fisher jumps up in front of Clark and grabs that. Clark even looks smaller on the field than the others. Xerxes. And he scores again. That was nice. His 31st goal of the season. Fatua's won Young Player of the Month once. Clark's won it twice. Nice job by Xerxes controlling the ball. Anyhow, back to Iturbe. I don't know. I think he's a good young keeper. If I'd gotten him if I'd gotten him the year I bought Altay Bayandar in, I suspect had he been playing these 3 seasons, he'd be as good as Bayandar was for us when we bought him in. Hudson-Odoi on the throw-in. Bergwijn back to Berg. Feeds Bergwijn, who puts it in from distance. A very nice curling shot from the top left corner of the box. That was well struck. Bergwijn just sitting there. Iturbe had no chance to get to that. Chalobah to Berg. Chalobah sends it back to Fisher, who bombs it forward. Too far. Zagadou picks it up. Nice first touch from the fullback. From the center back, rather. Feeds Clark, who's tackled. Ball goes right to Fatu, and he scores. Seriously, the Clark sprite is demonstrably small. Look at that. He's literally a head smaller than the guy here. That was nice by Fatu. Make a couple of changes here. Clark off, bring Pellegrini on. Gallagher off, bring Blanco on. Actually, you know what? We're going to undo that one. Because we're going to get Esposito off and bring on Baena. Kasuno on the throw-in. Fatu sends it back to Sutalo. Sutalo tries taking a shot. It bounces off the wall. Fatu recovers, gets the ball to Zagadou. Stockbridge over to Kasuno. Kasuno sends it in. Chalobah knocks away. Goes to Stockbridge, though. Gallagher back to Stockbridge. Back to Sutalo. Stockbridge feeds Kasuno. Fatu goes inside and back out. Gives the ball away to Hudson-Odoi. Odoi kicks it away. Goes right to Zagadou. Zagadou drops it off to Laird. Laird feeds Baena. Baena back to Laird. Laird to Gallagher. Baina takes a shot. Pellegri's there, and he heads it in. Flag's not raised. VAR review. What was the offsides? Fatu sends the ball in, and Gallagher's there with the score. That was nice. Was that his first goal? I think it was his second. Well done. And the game is coming to an end. One more chance for Tuu. Sends it in. Xerxes hits it wide right. And that is the match with a 4-2 victory, helped by the fact Gabriel Menino was sent off just before the end of the first half. That was a very good win. And that puts us in third place. I don't know that automatically qualifies us, though. I'm trying to get a better seed in the Champions League as well. Tua was stellar. 2 assists and a goal. Evening coffee clutch getting underway. And we have Leicester City in a week, so we will be back with that in just a bit. We had a good week of training. Let me get back here to this real quick. Yeah, Stockbridge is now up to 3.5 stars. He could possibly reach that 4.5 star potential. Last game of the season, we're currently in 4th place on 71 points. We need this victory. If West Ham wins, we're down in 5th. If Liverpool wins, I'm not quite sure what happens. So we could end up in 6th place. If Leicester wins, they could climb up into 7th place. So you know they're going to give us their best shot. So we're going to put our best 11 on the field. And that is going to be Gallagher's a deep line. Oh, ball-winning midfielder. It's got to be Riedewald. No, it's got to be Laird. Are Tottenham and Man City playing? Tottenham and Newcastle are playing. Who's Man City playing? Man City is playing Everton. Stockbridge towards Xerxes, but it's knocked down. Popa out to Igor. Proxides back to Diakibi. Nyambe gets by 1. Cuts inside. Still running forward. Guys are giving him space. And he shoots it high and left. For a minute there, it was looking like it was going in. Iturbe to Anderson. We were on the balanced. I moved it to attacking. Kasunu up into space for Pellegrini. He cuts inside. Oh, nice save by the Leicester keeper. Nyambe. Do they still have Schmeichel in goal? No, Nick Pope. Evan Nilsson runs by the defender. That was kind of interesting to say the least. Prost up to Jimenez and knocked aside by Iturbe. Prost or Prayet? Prayet. Praxides runs down the loose ball, and he can't stop it before it goes out of bounds. Nyambe to Prayet. Back to Diakabi, Aronson. Oh, loses the ball. Gallagher to Pellegrini. Pellegrini in a crowd gets dispossessed, but Fatua picks it up. Up into space for Xerxes. Xerxes not going to get there before Pope. Come on, guys. Kasunu heads it down. Fatua picks it up. Back to Kasunu. Up to Stockbridge. Back to Anderson. Over to Zagadou. Zagadou drives forward. Passes it up to Xerxes. Xerxes takes a shot. Pope can't deflect it enough. It goes in. A much-needed goal just before the half. Zagadou, the architect, my defensive center back, crossing the midfield. A nice pass to Xerxes. Pope got a hand on it, but it wasn't enough. And I don't think the standings reflect our score. Kasunu on the throw-in. Esposito fights off one. Kasunu gives it back to Esposito. He crosses it in. Pellegri's there, and it's in for the goal. That was nice. Pellegri rewards me with a goal after signing his new 5-year contract that keeps him at the club for a while. Unless it doesn't. Are they going to call him offsides? Oh, no, he's onside. Yes. Nice job by Kasunu feeding Esposito. Nice shot by Pellegri flying up in the air to knock that in. I thought the angle was a little bit tight there, but he certainly did well. They're going to show us the onsides here. Yeah, he's onsides. Pray it. Oh, that was close. That was well done. A little bit more to the right. We would have been okay. They would have been okay. Is there really going to be a 3-way tie for third place, for second place? Pray it. Off the post, knocked back and forth. Iturbe finally clears it. Okay, I got a couple players not having the best games in the world. We're going to bring on Admirola for Laird. We're going to bring Stockbridge off. Bring on Seone. And switch him and Gallagher around. We're going to make Seone the deep line playmaker on support. Fatuwu tries sending it in. It's knocked away. Praxedes ends up with it. Back to Diakabi. Over to Nyambe. He drives forward. Challenge. Gets the ball to Prayet. Up to De Clore. I can't pronounce that. That's a Dutch name I haven't seen before. Diakabi. Gives the ball to Jimenez. Over to Aronson. Out in space for Nyambe. He crosses it in. Kasunu knocks it away. Fatuwu heads it forward. Pellegri picks it up in the crowd. Passes it up for Xerxes. Xerxes goes wide and a very nice save by the Leicester defender. Admirola on the throw-in. Esposito gives the ball away. What the heck was that? Jimenez. Oh, Admirola intercepted it. Got the ball to Anderson. Up the field, Pellegri. Over to Fatuwu. Feeds Pellegri. No one in front of him. Takes the shot. Pope, a very nice save, but Pellegri follows up and gets the goal. His 17th of the season. Pope made a nice save, but it wasn't enough. Nice pass by Fatuwu. Pellegri goes wide. Pope stops it. Deflects it to his left, though. That was odd. It looked like he was trying to push it to his right, and it didn't go that way. Could go back to the balanced. Fatuwu. Corner kick in. Out to Seone. Back to Gallagher. Seone. Fatuwu. Gallagher off the crossbar. And Mari just knocks it away. Oh, and they get a goal back. We're going to end up in 4th place. There's going to be 3 teams tied on 74 points. And we're going to end up in 4th place again. Unless something happens late between Man City and or Tottenham. With a 3-1 victory, we did what we needed to do. I think maybe I didn't realize that we were relying on others. And we finished in 4th. How did we finish in 4th? Save the game here real quick. We got our initial budgets for next season. Okay, Crystal Palace qualified for the Cup, securing top 4. 2 million payroll, $143 million, £143 million transfer budget. Euro Cup went down. Pellegri catches the eye, praises performance. He was superb in front of goal. And quick chat. Premier Division. Okay, we're going to go back and forth here. Rules. League sorting rules. Goal differences, goals scored, results between teams. So it's our goal difference that did us in. That is a bit of a bummer, to be honest with you. Everton was relegated. Received £32.83 million. Paid out 5.5. I did up the bonuses this year. So what did we need to have happen? We needed Tottenham drew with Newcastle. We needed Newcastle to win. And they didn't. Man City beat Everton. So if Newcastle had beaten Tottenham instead of drawing with them, we would have gone ahead of them. We still would have been behind Man City, but Man City, Everton would have had to have beat Man City, and that wasn't going to happen. That was not going to happen. So let's take a look at the end of season here, and then we'll talk about what we're looking at next season in terms of player moves, and hopefully getting some of these players I sent out on loan enough playing time for them to qualify for work permits. I knew when I signed a couple of these younger players, getting a work permit was not going to be easy right away. The one exception to that, and I think I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about him after this. End of season review. I didn't realize I skipped so many. Okay, end of season review. Xerxes they're calling a C after he led us. Satulo's a C. Ethan Laird they're calling an A-. Mainly due to a lower salary. B-, mostly due to a lower salary. C+. Wanjo's an A, lower salary. So they're all about salary expectations. He can be the best player in the world, but if they think I've signed him for too much money, or if I've sent them out, I didn't get enough money for them. I sent Guehi out for 29.5, and it's only worth a C. Eze is only worth a C. Olise is only worth a C. Season results. Board expected a top half finish. We finished 4th. They're quite happy with that. There was a moment there where it really looked like we were going to fall out of the top half. We were hovering around 7th to 8th place. Biggest win was the 4-0 against Porto. Our match to remember was the 6-3 against Man City. That was a good game. The goal of the season was Xerxes' goal, the one from distance against Everton. We're down in broadcast revenue just a little, which doesn't make a lot of sense because we had Champions League revenue. But they must count that as part of the Champions League stuff instead of our TV revenue stuff. Best 11 this season are Turbe, Kusunu, Zagadou, Anderson, Laird, Sani, Stockbridge, Fatu, Esposito, Xerxes, and Pellegrini. Dan Axel Zagadou, player of the season. Pietro Pellegrini, young player of the season. Esposito, signing of the season. Goal of the season was Xerxes. Xerxes led us with 32 goals. Pellegrini, 11 assists. And 6 players of the match. Zagadou, a 7.4 rating. His defensive stats were absolutely off the charts. And he was 7.0 or better in almost every game. Had 2 assists, didn't have any goals. However, if you look at, he had games with multiple tackles. He had games with multiple tackles won. Had a couple games with key tackles. Was a heading machine. Won the vast majority of his headers. It was just solid throughout the year. He is well worth the player of the season. I'm okay with this vision. Dynamics are okay. Team report, season injury report. Teo Amarola, 6 injuries. Almost all of them were leg related. So these are 2 of the youngsters I'm hoping get work permits for next season. Joel Tizier was a youth player we signed when he was 17, and he spent a year back at Abioso, who were in the Ivorian League. He came here on a free. It was an end-of-contract deal. He didn't qualify. So I sent him out to Maccabi Haifa. He played 35 games there. I'm hoping he qualifies. We'll apply for work permit, see what happens. I can't. At 39 days. This one here, Valentin Grigorish. This one really annoys me. We bought him for $7.25 million from Ferul Constanta. If you look at his appearances, he had 21 appearances, 3 assists, a player of the match in one season. So that's league appearances and accounting non-competitive. But if you look here, he had 33 league appearances. And they're in the first league. Constanta. They're in the first league. That's the Romanian top league. They're a top league team. When I go to my tactics and I go to selection advice, pick without restriction, best 11, Grigoras is always chosen. He is the best young defensive center back I have on my squad. If I was to compare him to a player like Anderson, he's almost as good as Anderson. And he's a little bit better in the technical areas. He's a defensive midfielder by trade, but I signed him to play defensive center back. Can't get a work permit. Didn't get a work permit the first time around. I about fell out of my chair. Because apparently Romania doesn't rank high enough in the world rankings. So, yeah, that was just annoying. I'll take a look at the squad here. If we go by appearances, Dan Axel Zagadou, 43 appearances, 3 assists, 5 players of the match, 7.42 rating. Joshua Zirkzee, 40 appearances, 2 off the bench. 40 appearances, 2 off the bench, 32 goals, 5 assists, 5 players of the match. Alejandro Iturbe, still kind of going back and forth on him. 39 appearances, 6.99 rating. Was okay in goal. I think he could have been a little bit better, but at the same time, he's 21 years old. He's 2.5 stars. He's getting better, and he's good in the areas I want him to be good in, and he's getting better in those areas as well. But frankly, I don't know. If I find another keeper who's worth the money, I might bring that person on. Fatu, a great season. 34 appearances, 6 goals, 8 assists, 2 players of the match. Anderson was solid at defensive center back. 33 appearances, 2 off the bench, 2 goals, and assist, a player of the match. Andy Stockbridge, 1 goal, 5 assists as a midfielder. Ethan Laird was a very good pickup for us. 29 appearances, 9 off the bench, 1 goal, 3 assists, 2 players of the match. Odolan Kasunu, stalwart on the defensive back 4. No goals, but 5 assists, 2 players of the match. Pellegrini probably had the best all-around season of everybody. 17 goals, 11 assists, 6 players of the match. Jordan Clark, 25 appearances, 4 goals, 8 assists, 8 goals, 4 assists, 1 player of the match. He kind of fell off this season. But a lot of that had to do with the fact that Pellegrini was doing so well. I didn't bring him off. Riedewald, not bad. Gabriel Veron did really well in his appearances. He's a solid bench player and spot starter for us. 4 goals, 6 assists, 2 players of the match in 13 appearances, 13 off the bench. Conor Gallagher, a good half season, 13 appearances, 2 goals, 4 assists. Hamza Chowdhury in spot starts, 2 goals, 4 assists, 2 players of the match. Ferguson didn't get a lot of starts this year, but he also spent a decent amount of time injured as well. Antonio Blanco did not get a lot of playing time. That was my fault because I thought I had better options, and for the most part I did. Bennett did not. Bennett got a lot of starts off the. Well, Bennett had a lot of bench appearances, which is what I brought him on for. So, if we go to, let me pull these guys up here too. So I got the senior squad. Get the unavailable guys on. If we look at when everybody's contract expires, I did not realize I still had these two on my roster. That's my fault. So the season officially ends on 25. So it's really Martin Hobson, Matthew Fisher, Julian Malatini, who I'll probably move. Well, no, Jillian Malatini is not coming back. So if you look at the dates of when the contracts end, the only people who are leaving are above Joachim Anderson. Martin Hobson, Matthew Fisher, Malatini, Walters, and Waldron. They were both non-contract. I just released them on freeze. So players who are probably going to be moving: Anderson. Riedewald requested a transfer, but no one picked him up, so he'll definitely be moving. Verone, maybe. He's wanted by Galatasaray. If I get a good offer for him, I could move him. But he's been a very valuable bench player for us. So, and then some of the old, the nice thing is we're a lot younger than we were when we first started. When we first started, our average age was like 27. So if we go back, Anderson, Riedewald, Seoni are our older players. Tizier is 27 as well as Aguirre is 25. Seoni was wanted at one point in time. Depending on what's out there, I may move him. I got Gallagher now. I still have Blanco. A lot of it depends on the rotation I have. Teo Adamarola, as much as I like him, the leg injuries this year just absolutely killed his development. The fact that his agility going up is absolutely amazing. So I'll keep him. I don't know that he'll be the full-time starter next year, though. And then there might be some youth players wanted. Wanjo's wanted, but he's a defensive center back who I am very interested in keeping. I would like to get him out on loan, though. And that reminds me, make a board request. Affiliate club. Finally. I'm asking for an overseas affiliate because if I can send my players there, they can get overseas playing time. That also counts towards their work permit stuff. The other thing I need to look at is club facilities. Superb training, superb youth. Our youth level is 1. This was a long-term save. I might ask for a new stadium. Boca, Augustin Rossi. I checked him out. He's 30. He'll be 30 years old. I don't know. We'll see. Lukaku goals. How many goals did he have? 30. Xerxes had 26. Xerxes had the goal of the season. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. So this was the Xerxes goal against Everton. Riedewald gets it. Brings it up across the midpoint line. Lost the ball towards Xerxes, who chests it down and just knocks it in from 25 yards. George Harry. I think it was more to the fact that it was from distance than anything else. I think we may have had better goals, but they would have been closer in. You don't congratulate Xerxes on his award. Xerxes made was named in the Division Team of the Year, and Chelsea and United picked up everything. Or Chelsea and Man City picked up everything else. Vakovic in goal. Zuma was the other one. Weekly meeting. Submitted inbox. I do not have a preference. Plans for next season. Let's see what happens when I say finishing top half. Okay, they're happy. Sorry I had to pause there. Tech support came down, asked me a question. He had a very good night tonight. His dodgeball team won their competition at school. He's quite happy. I'm quite happy he didn't catch a ball to the face because we just put braces there. So I told the guys that we'd be aiming to do our best in the Champions League, which meant getting out of the group stage. Enjoy your break. Everybody's mostly happier. I'm not a huge fan of the whole team talk thing. Did I get to pick the training ground yet? I don't know. Let's find out. We should be able to pick it here. Let's see. Overall, it was a good season for us. Top 4 is good. I can always sit here and say, hey, we tied for second place. And on one level, that's true. On another level, we finished 4th due to goal differences. If I had to guess where I was most worried about the season, it was this part right here in January. We'd lost to Man City. Everton had beaten us, and they were bottom of the table. We drew with Man City. We drew with Newcastle. We got beat by Man City again. We drew with Aston Villa. If any one of those, if the Newcastle or Aston Villa game had been a loss, or if this Arsenal game had been a loss, we would have been really up a creek. We found our form in March, even though PSG and Man United absolutely raffle-stomped us. And Borussia Dortmund is playing Juve in the final for that, so somebody knocked out PSG. Good for them. So, yeah, Xerxes was a good pickup for us. The youngsters are developing. We're going to aim for top 4 next season. The next season, season number 5. It's when the guys we have in the squad really need to step up, become the players that they're supposed to be, or get close to the players that they're supposed to be. Maybe some judicious spending in the transfer market to help that along. But in terms of our starting 11, I'm quite happy with it. Now, Sutalo's going to be upset because I didn't play him at defensive center back. I had to play him at left back a couple of times because of injury. But more often than not, Laird is going to start over there. If Anderson leaves, I'm hoping Grigoras and or Tizier will qualify for their work permits. If not, I'm tempted to start Wanjo. Tempted. Or I can see who else is out there. We do need some depth at advanced midfielder. Verone's my primary backup there, but if I can get someone who's like an Esposito but can play both sides of the ball, I'd be okay there. Maybe another young midfielder, just for depth potential more than anything else. Although it says I've got 16 players there. Who do I have there? I've got Blanco there. Yeah, Blanco's there. And Baena can play there too. Jordan Clark in a pinch. Plus I've got my guys out on loan. Okeke had a really good season in his loan appearance. Jaden Raymond was not that bad either. Ardra Guler, who is a forward, had a solid season too. So it's possible Jaden Raymond could be my backup at defensive right and defensive left. So, or not defensive right, advanced midfield right, advanced midfield left. It's late. I need to call this. So we're ending the season on a high note. We're ending the night on a high note. I am quite happy. I think, barring anything really unforeseen, the team is not going to change a lot. It's going to be mostly depth than anything else. The players that I'm leaving, the players that I think are leaving, I expect them to leave this season, and I'm positive I can find replacements for them. I'm just really hoping Tizier or Grigoras, or both of them, get work permits. If they don't, I'm going to be really kind of miffed. But that said, a successful season for us. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it down below. If you did like what you seen and heard, please have a like. Subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticism, comments. Leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM Jellico. I thank you for watching.